Hey guys, welcome back to Sword of Mana. Last time, we had a terrible time of it because Dark Lord decided that he was going to attack the town of Wendell with his military airship, and after a long sequence of story events, he ended up kidnapping Elena and very nearly razing this town and burning it to the ground. So, this time, we have to find where the airship is going to land and take back Elena from Dark Lord. In order to do that, we have to head west. So, pretty much our only clue is that we have to head west. So, all we really need to do is go this way. And we end up in the Mushboom Forest. Now, there is a potted plant here, and I'm going to be using it eventually for a specific thing, but I'm not going to be using it right now because what I need is not currently available in the hothouse. Now, if you've played the game before, you might know what I'm talking about, but regardless, we can't use it right now. So, I'll worry about that later. For now, let's just keep heading west through the Mushboom Forest. Now, the only enemy in the Mushboom Forest is, well, mushbooms. And there are these caps on the ground here, these little pink ones down here, and they're all over the place. The mushbooms disguise themselves by wearing these caps. So let me find one. Whoa. Okay, this one's walking around, but you can see the cap on its head. They will like lay down on the ground while the cap is on top of them, and until you approach them, I think it's usually during the daytime that they do that, you won't be able to distinguish them from that and like single caps. But you know, just go up to them, and usually, especially at nighttime, you can see the difference. Like, you see these down here, and then you go, let's find one over here, and you'll see that they're like moving. Like, well, you won't see that they're moving, but you'll see there's a difference. We'll see that maybe in a little bit when I get further into this place. And we get a gummy frog from that chest, so we'll be using that, but not yet. Let's go back to read this sign, because I didn't really read it when we went over here. Apparently, the Gaia's facade and the abandoned mine are north, the Dwarf Cave is to the left, and obviously Wendell, where we came from, is to the right. Let's head north, because there's some stuff to do over here first before we go anywhere else. See how there was a difference? Like, you could see this one, and then you could see that, ow, that one. Quit it. Okay. And you can see that one, like, this one looked a little bit more, but it didn't have as much shadow to it. I mean, that could have just been because of the light, but regardless. Let's go over here. You can barely see that treasure chest, but inside is a Manos bronze. So, not very useful for the hero, but oh well. There's another one down here. What's this one got? An angel grail. Alright, not bad, not bad. And third chest right here. Geez, they're just giving these out like candy now, aren't they? We get some small seeds from this. So, let's see. I can't really show the difference right now. Maybe when it gets to be like, yeah, now that it's morning, maybe you'll be able to see the difference a little better. Okay, you see how there's those two there, and there's the one that just spawned next to it? Well, the one that spawned is an actual mushboom. And if you look, the mushboom kind of has a different shadow than the cap that isn't a mushboom. So, but pretty much, if you're having any doubts, just swing at it. If it moves, then it's a mushboom. Ow. They can be kind of annoying because they can throw their shells or caps or whatever at long range, so they can be kind of annoying, but shouldn't be too terribly difficult to handle. Especially if you're training the hero how I am, because he's more inclined toward weapons on my file. I mean, that's usually how people train the hero. This is a mushboom right here. Yeah. But that's usually how people train the hero. They usually train him in weapons, and if they're playing as the heroine, they train her in magic. So, to get across this gap, we need the flail. Just like we did in Venket Vicinity, use the rock as a post, and just use the flail. Let's drop the treasure chest, what do they have in it? Mushbooms, I don't think they have too much really good stuff to drop. But you might have... Oh, that's actually a good drop, marble. I'll explain why in a little while. But you may have noticed on the ring for the treasure chest, there's a new... little thing there. There's no enemies on the screen, and they never are, so don't worry about it. You may have noticed that there's a new little icon on there. That one is stone. That one's probably the most dangerous one out of all of them. You'll want to try to steer clear from that one at all costs if you can, because it takes more HP out of you than any of the other ones can. I think it does the same damage that spikes and arrows would do ×2. So try to avoid that. For now, instead of heading west some more in that little screen that had no enemies on it, we're going to head northwest a little bit because well, there's a few things to do over here before we head over to that western part over there. So let's grab this treasure chest real quick. There's an angel grail in it. Awesome. I guess you can never have enough of those, considering your allies die like crazy in this game. Thought so. You can't fool me! Oh, this screen, yeah, this one, I think there's 4 mushrooms in this screen. Let me see if I can get 2 of them at once. Okay, whoa, don't, stay away from me, man. Yes! Got 2 of them. And it's easy to see in the evening which one's which too, because these look more orangish in the evening, and the ones that have actual mushrooms next in them don't look as orangish, so there's that. Are there any treasure chests on this screen? I think there's one. But it's really hard to see in the evening because it's right up here. A lot of the treasure chests in this forest are kind of hidden like that, like they're kind of difficult to see. And let's go up here first before we go anywhere else to collect this treasure chest and kill this mushroom, I guess. Oh, I think that powder can induce some sort of status effect on you, but I've never had any problems with it, so don't even worry about it. Now, there is something that I want to do in this forest, but I'm going to save that until a little bit later because, well, we've got stuff to do right now. I'll explain more about what exactly I want to do a little bit later, but basically it's just going to be purchasing 50 more items from Niccolo. Like I said, not going to worry about that now, we'll do that later. So this is why you want to avoid stone, because 22 damage from just 1 stone. Now, I mean, granted, you do now have Wisp, so you can just, you know, go ahead and heal yourself, but the hero isn't as inclined toward magic, and he doesn't have the kind of spirit levels to make Wisp an extremely effective healing asset, because as you can see, it only healed the same HP as a Gumdrop does right now. We'll be taking care of that soon enough, though, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Just, you know, use Wisp for healing if you need it, and if you're concentrating on magic, you might have to switch back and forth between Salamander and Wisp a little bit to balance out your healing, but other than that, you should be fine. Now we're on the path to the mine, and the mine I'll explain in a little bit, but there's a couple of new enemies around here. One of them you might be able to see at the top of the screen right there. That's a Lokid, I believe. I don't think I have it in my notes. Let me just look. Oh, I do. Yeah, it's a Lokid. These guys can increase their magic defense with some spells, and I think they have Luna Elemental Magic, which is kind of rare at this point in the game, but I'm not exactly sure because, well, I killed them off way too quickly to know, really. Ninja Master needs 5, 20, and 10, so let's do random next. Oh, look at that, more magician-type like stuff, except I got some mind out of it. Cool. Alright, well, anyway, I guess we should just keep going west, because if we're gonna get to West Lake, we have to move west. Now, there's a mana statue here for a very good reason. And I will explain that in a second. Now, make sure, before you move on to the next screen here, the screen to the left of me, make sure you go on your menu and check the day. Now, as you can see, it's Salamander Day for me, so I won't be having any issues. But if you are on the Mana Holiday, be very, very careful going over to this screen right here. During the daytime, that is. Like, it'll only work if it's during the daytime. I think it might work in the morning as well, but I'm not sure on that, so don't quote me on it. But be very careful when you go onto the screen, because there is a monster over here that appears 5% of the time. Oh, here's a new enemy called Mole Bear. We'll be seeing more of them later. But there's a monster that appears on the screen. 95% of the time, you'll get like Mole Bears and Lokids and, you know, that sort of stuff. Stuff that isn't too terribly hard to deal with because they're on par with the enemies at this point in the game. But 5% of the time, you will come across what is called a light Cyclops. The Cyclops enemies are the most powerful regular enemies in the game, bar none, besides bosses. Barring bosses. So, and they have an enormous amount of HP, an enormous amount of defense, and they're pretty much, at this point in the game, really, really difficult to handle. So you don't want to run into one of them. If you see them, then I would recommend probably just getting off the screen as fast as you can. You'll know the difference because there won't be any enemies spawning, because there's always going to be enemies spawning in this area of the screen, this big clearing here. There will always be enemies spawning on this part of the screen, unless the light Cyclops spawns, because I think the light Cyclops is usually spawn over here-ish. So you'll know when a light Cyclops comes up if you're on the Mana Holiday. It only happens, like I said, during the day. So you'll know the, when it's coming if nothing spawns on this part of the screen. I need some healing real quick, and then let's head up here. Now, this is the entrance to Gaia Cave. And, kind of weird shape for an entrance. Let's have a closer look. Whoa. Nice relief, dude. Wonder who sculpted that. Let's inspect it. Because I don't see any way in, really, unless we slip underneath it. Yeah, really. This is a pickle. We need to get inside. I don't think pushing it's going to do anything, dude. Huh. Whoa. Did it just move? Whoa! I guess the little girl wasn't lying. The rock just sneezed on me. Man, I didn't get a flu shot or anything. If you can't see that, I know that it might be a little bit fuzzy because it's not in a text box. It says, okay, back to dreams of yummy mithril. Remember that, because it'll be useful in a little bit. Man, for a sneeze, that really hurt. Nah, the rock can't be talking and sneezing. Duke's so gullible.